Hello, dear viewer. I am a global nationalist, and today I am going to be discussing um, current events related to Indian nationalism. That is because, as per the schedule, this is the first Saturday of the month, and that is what I discuss on this day. So today I want to discuss about the recent survey released by Pew Research Centre, which discusses religion in India. In this survey, they asked questions, face-to-face questions, to around 30,000 people in India in 17 Indian languages. These questions were related to the religion, the religious beliefs of people, and their prejudices and opinions. And I just want to discuss about them because they're, I think, these findings of the report are very significant. First off, I want to discuss about how the survey shows that most people in India, throughout the six major religions in India, which were surveyed, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, Christianity, Islam, all these religions, people say that they have freedom of religion in India. It's a high majority, around around 85 to 93%. It's an incredibly high majority. Also, majority of people, the vast majority of people, believe that respecting other religions is a key part of actually being an Indian, which I found very fascinating. Also, the survey showed that most Indians believe that their religion, that people from other religions are different from theirs, that there are more significant differences between them. However, the extent to which this belief is shared, is felt by people, varies from one religion to another and to which religion they are comparing their religion to another. For example, the Hindus and Sikhs and Jains and Buddhists, uh, and Jains, not Buddhists, I'll leave them around, did not feel that their religion was very different other from each other. However, Indian religions, like the ones I just mentioned, Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism, felt that they were very different from Abrahamic religions like Islam and Christianity. Also, some questions like, would you, do you, think that intermarriages between your people from your religion and those of another religion should be prevented, whether it is a man from your religion or a woman from your religion? And majority of people from across religions agreed yes. They said yes, that these marriages shouldn't be prevented. It's not a high majority. It's like for Hindus, it's about 63, 65%. For Muslims, it's about 78 to 80%, which is a high majority, yeah. But for other religions, it's not. It's also quite significant. Most of them are at least above 50%. And also, uh, however, and most people believe that India's religious diversity is a strength, actually something good, an asset for India, not a liability. This cuts across all religions. Another interesting finding was that people who are Hindus believe that being a Hindu is important part of being an Indian. And this was about 65% of Indians believe this. Uh, 65% of Hindus believe this. However, this is more in the north and less in the south. However, even in the south, in the north, it's around 60%, 65, sometimes and in the central it's around 50 to 52, 55%. In the south it's around 40%, well, in the early 40s. This shows that even in that, although it is true that this Hindutva type of thinking is less prevalent in the south and more prevalent in the north, it is not minuscule. 40% is not something to be ignored. It is a sizable minority. So, and I, being a Malayali, a South Indian, I do support this view, but I'll get to that later. So, yeah, these are the main findings from the report. What this report shows is that, first of all, most Indians, like the vast majority of Indians, are happy with their country from a religious perspective. They have the freedom to practice their religion. They don't feel like they're being oppressed by their government or discriminated by people. And they also respect other religions. Now, this is something that is very Indian. That is true when they say that respecting other religions is an essential part of being an Indian. There's a reason why this is so important to being an Indian and why freedom of religion has been preserved and protected in India for so long. The reason is there are several reasons actually. The most important reason would be that since Indian history, beginning of Indian history, which is the Vedic period, I'm not include, which is technically the Harappan period, but what I'm trying to get at is ever even when Hinduism was the only religion in India, which was called Sanatana Dharma at that time, and is still called now, Hinduism is a foreign name for the religion. Even at that time, people had worshipped various gods, 30 different types of gods, not 30 million, that's a mistranslation of the word koti, the Sanskrit word koti. There are 30 types of gods in India, in Hinduism, and and also there was various traditions, various philosophies, beliefs in Hinduism, various gurus who taught both men and women, male, female gurus, and throughout the and throughout the width and breadth of India, there's a huge diversity of views in Hinduism. However, there are certain fundamental beliefs that are prevalent throughout the various Hindu groups, sects, you could call them, though, like, I mean, referring to Shaivites, Vaishnavites, Charvakas, people like those. There are certain fundamental values that everyone agrees to. One is that we should all religions should be respected, that every religion, every god should be respected, and even if you don't worship a god another person worships, that god is not less significant than yours, and you should respect that god. That the equality of all religions, acceptance of all religions, and of all that basically there are several paths you can take to the truth, which is the truth of reality, of the universe, of you could refer to it as God, but in Vedanta, in Hinduism, like really advanced Hinduism, they don't consider it God in the same Western manner. I can't get into that now. I don't have time. Uh, so yeah, people were always tolerant of other views, other beliefs. That's why that if they weren't, then we would have had wars and conflicts, like civil wars, like in between the Protestants and Catholics in Europe in the Middle Ages, and even now, very unfortunately, between Shias and Sunnis in Islam. Although it is not like a major, not like universally a universal conflict throughout Islam. I'm not saying that Shias and Sunnis are always fighting with each other. That's not true at all. Most of them, I'm sure, get along fine, but there is a dispute and there is violence sometimes that erupts between the two groups, which is very sad. And I'm not talking about this with an intent to mock Muslims or to put them down or criticize them. I'm just stating a fact as I view it. So back to what I was saying, that uh, so this is why when Jainism and Buddhism came up, they were just viewed as another philosophy, another teaching that came up at that time, and some people followed it, some people didn't. But there was, and throughout these three religions, there was no real desire to proselytize, to convert others. There was no feeling that my religion is the only correct religion and the others are false, and everyone else has to, who doesn't convert to my religion is morally inferior and will be punished by God. Nothing like that. There was no belief like that in ancient India, in Indian religions, and to this day, those religions don't contain that belief. Now, Islam and Christianity do not uh, have those same beliefs. They are proselytizing religions and exclusivist monotheist religions. They believe that only their God is real, their God is a true God, and all other gods are false. And they believe that they have the right to proselytize and convert others to their faith. It's a supremacist view. It's not intolerant. It's inherently intolerant, this viewpoint. Now, throughout this survey, we can see that Muslims and Christians in India actually, by and large, do not subscribe to this view, at least literally in totality. Most of them actually believe that do respect other religions, and in fact, some of them have imbibed certain Hindu concepts, dharmic concepts like karma. Even about 20% of Muslims believe in reincarnation and and the equality of all religions. It's something that has been imbibed by the Abrahamic religions in India from the Dharmic religions. This is why people from those religions answered as such. Another reason why there's so much freedom of religion in India, why there's harmony between the six different religions, is because of the law, the Constitution of India. Article 25 says that every person shall be granted shall have the right to freedom of religion and freedom of practice and worship any religion that they follow. And Article 26 says that every religious denomination shall have the right to conduct its own affairs. Article 14 and 15 are the equality articles which prevent the state from discriminating against any citizen, or in the case of 14, any person, on the grounds of religion, that everyone shall be treated equally under the law, under Article 15. And Article 19 allows freedom of expression. Uh, and so you can express any belief that you have, any religious belief that you have. That's covered under Article 19. So, and the Indian state as a, which it carries out the constitution in India, has protected these principles, these laws, and especially the judiciary is very favorable to freedom of religion. Generally, courts will make sure that any government decisions that discriminate against religions is struck down. They are very harsh on that. And now, yeah, so, and the most fundamental thing about this that I want to say is that We Indians, we in India, we generally get carried away by what is on the news, all the negativity on the news about, like, you'll hear about some like this beef vigilantism, which is reported as if Hindu fanatics are going around and attacking Muslims for eating beef or transporting cows just for out of bigotry. But that's not actually the case. The reason is that that happens, which is wrong. Vigilantism is wrong, and killing too, like violence, should not be allowed, and the government should be strict against that. So, making that clear, I do not support any violence against anyone for their dietary habits or for any commerce, which is what transportation of cows, if it's legal. However, what the reason why these attacks happen mostly is because people steal cows from farmers in villages and transport them to smuggle, and so the villagers sometimes get vigilante groups to attack those who stolen their cows. I'm not entirely sure how to solve this issue. I have to research more, but and also that's how. So imagine if the media reported it how it is. That's just a vigilante problem. It's not a communal issue actually. There would be You wouldn't hear about this. India is becoming intolerant, Hindu fascism. You wouldn't hear that, and there wouldn't be this nervousness, this angst, this worry in the Muslim community. Second, if the media wouldn't only talk like I'm talking about the so-called nationalist media like Republic TV, that they only talk about at least they highlight the criminal acts of Islamic terrorists and jihadists. They kind of put too much. They assume that it is as a uh, religious bent, religious cause, when that's not always true. So really, I think we're just too much focused on negativity. Everything is, act- not everything, but 90% of us are good. We respect each other. We care for each other. We want everyone of every religion to be free, prosperous, happy. We don't hate each other, and we shouldn't allow politicians and the media to make us hate each other. That's a tragedy. It's a terrible tragedy for if we start hating each other. So I promise that on this channel I will never allow propagate hate toward hatred, violence towards any religious community in India. I will never do that. All Indians are my brothers and sisters, regardless of religion. So yeah, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Vande Mataram.